Hello everyone, can everyone see my screen? Please type one if you guys can see my screen. Okay. Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Robin and I will be carrying this presentation about leveling up. Should you chase for L2 or not? Yeah, the number one is if you can see my presentation or not. Okay, I see most of you can see my presentation. So without further ado, let me begin. Okay, next is who am I? Okay, my name is Robin Williams Lai, but in Magic, most people call me just Robin Lai, skipping the Williams. I am an L2 from Bandung, Indonesia. And then I start playing main NTG in Shadow over Innistrad in April 2016 and becoming the L1 judge at September 19, 2018 and becoming an L2 of this early January by this year. Okay, for the first question, before we begin everything, should I chase for L2, especially for other L1 here? Can you answer in the chat? Should you chase for L2 or not? For others L1 here, please type in chat if you wanna chase for L2 or not. Google already said this list L2. Anyone else? Okay. I see some L1 judges is trying to become an L2 and some maybe some more some other people still thinking about should I chase it for L2 or not? Okay. For me the answer is if you can then you should. Because I will explain before I explain it, let's see why you should I why you should chase for L2. First, there is a LGS in need of judges when they can trust to run the competitive rally event. L2 sorry, L2 judge has been certified to run event at competitive realm, of course, and especially they have not everyone, but most of them has a higher knowledge of the rules than the L1 judges. But I don't say that L1 judges doesn't have enough knowledge about the rules. What I said that L2 is expected to have a higher knowledge than L1. So they will be responsible for most in-store competitive realm event and represent the bulk of judges on the floor of a large-scale tournament. Especially when COVID now is beginning at its end stage, the event from all over the world, all over the world, it start to begin again, especially the competitive realm. So that being said, the L2 is beginning to be needed for some LGS, especially if I can say that the premium store will be needing L2 sooner or later. Okay. The L2 beginner is expected to have an understanding of the CR that maybe exists the L1 judges, but let me say again that L1 may not that L1 is maybe they have a better knowledge, but they are thinking about should I chase for L2 that maybe I should stay on L1 but for in this presentation I will tell you that yeah, please chase for L2. The next one is why you should chase for L2. Player may need assistance in a role and may need judges that have a deeper understanding of CR ruling or the philosophy behind the ruling. L1 may know that how to apply the rule, how to what is the role of these things in the Magic, especially when I said Magic. Magic is a very complicated game. L1 may have L1 may have their own knowledge about the ruling, but L2 L2 here is expected to have the better understanding, the better knowledge about the ruling. Next is this is the word that I like the most. Becoming an L2, you can also become a mentor for other L1 and L1 candidate in your circle. This is so great about L2. What I like about L2 is that you can teach them and learn from them at the same time. Maybe some people in especially in your area, ask you how to become a judges. Is that any benefit that that I get when I become a judges? For me, especially for me, when I become a judges, I wanna build my uh, my local area community. We do have one level one judges that not very active anymore. So for me becoming when I first try to become an L1, I really wanna make that guys, that judges is something that needed in your area, something that someone that you can talk to, someone that you can ask a question about. And becoming a judge myself, I can see that I by the time I play this game, I'm getting more and more in love with this game, because this game have a very complicated way to make it so interesting that it exists from like 20 years ago and more, so and still coming from the future. So yeah, becoming an L1, becoming an L2, you can become a mentor for other L1 and other L1 candidate that want to become an L1 in your area. Yeah, I see Tata said that just promos. Yeah, of course. Should to be told that everyone want to change for the just promos, and yeah, I see. For me, that I can see now said the valid truth that it becomes an opportunity to travel. That let's say like the next Singapore event that I wanna I wanna become one of the judges there. Just to travel, but yeah, there's other reason, of course, but one of the reason is to travel. And next is having more L2 in your area is also lessen the burden of your fellow L2 judges friend. Yeah, when you are the one L2 in your area, that every other player's expectation are in you. Yeah, it's challenging in its own, but that's the fun of it. When you have that player believe in you, players that ask you about the ruling because they believe that L2 have the better understanding in the ruling. That's the challenge for yourself. That's the point of yeah, I become an L2 and I should have this troubleshooting for you. Yeah, newer L2 may find themselves placed in the lead role for the first time, including like head judging in a smaller event with other judges in their store, or possibly leading a team in mid-sized event. Because of this, L2 is expected to be will be expected to be familiar with event logistics, such as appeals, deck list, or deck tech, which is not used in a regular event or a small event with the single judges. Okay. Okay. Next one is the responsibility. When you become the L2, what is your responsibility for other people, for other players, especially in your local area? The first one, of course, the rulings. You are expected to have a higher knowledge of the rulings. You are expected to know every complicated reason. But yeah, truth to be told, L2 is just a human. They need to learn. They need to know the uh, what happened at the table. So they may be made a mistake, but don't worry about that mistake. The mistake is what will make you a better judges in the future. Okay. Next one is, of course, like I said earlier, it run the event. Like when you need the event, when LGS your area need the event, they are expected. L2 can help them to run the event. Next one is the community representative. The easiest way to say that when you become an L2, you can become the community representative for other L1 in your area. You can become the community representative for L1 candidate in your area. Let's say that some player that learning Magic wanna try to become an L1 in the future. Then they let's say you don't have any L2 in your area. They will be have some trouble for that. Yeah, like I do when in my area I have no L2. There I have to wait for a big event when all other L2 from Indonesia can gather in one place in one event, so I can become a judges there. So I have my recommendation from other L2. Yeah, that's it. That's quite the problem. But when you become an L2 yourself, you can become that person that people need, that people search for you. Next one is become a mentor. Like I said earlier, becoming a mentor is a great way to learn and a great way to share your knowledge. People may underestimate you first, but when you become a mentor, when you learn something from your other fellow judges, when you teach your other fellow judges something, it will deepen your friendship with them. It will deepen your your friendship with other players. Players will become believe you more and more. It's so great to become a mentor and of course to become the friend for them. Next one is of course sharing knowledge. Yeah, let's say that every in the event that you are the only L2 that you can share their knowledge. You can share your knowledge. What happened in the judge call? Why do you give this person a warning? Yeah, Tommy. Everything in this L2 has to be contested. They continue that what happened in the judge call when I do this and then when I do this and then there is infraction happen, what should I do? When you become an L2, actually you don't have to become an L2, but becoming an L2 will give you a great broaden knowledge about that, so you can help your local your friends to understand more and more. Next is helping out local game store. Of course, when you're helping out your local, like Tommy said, that LPTQ needs an L2 jet to be conducted. Of course, the LPTQ will be made by the will be held by this local game store, right? So local game store will be needed in judges. Like your judges will need an L2 as well. Okay. Next one is I am an L1 now. What should I prepare if I want to become an L2? While I drink, can someone L1 have some answer in the chat? What did you need when you prepare to become an L2? Of course, yeah. It's not wrong with this, yeah, right. Clearing up just academy modules, of course, it's correct. Completely advanced com rules and modules, of course, it's correct. But did you know Um, yeah. Did you know before all that happened, before you read, before you learn about the CR, you should have this a mental preparation. Do you you know that becoming an L2 doesn't make your life easier. It make your life becoming more complicated. Like when you play with the player, you uh yeah, L2 makes it harder, yes, but of course. When you play with player and then they see you as a judge, they see you as an L2, and then you suddenly make a mistake. They will judge you, right? They are a player and they are judging a judge. uh yeah, it's making things complicated when you let's say when you misplayed and are you suddenly make a GRP song, you are you know when you mistakenly make a GRP, that people will see you that, well, the judge is making a mistake. But yeah, like I said earlier, judges is human. Judges can make a mistake. So becoming an L2, you should prepare your mental. You should prepare that as a play. No, you are not a player, not just a player anymore. You are a judge. You have to become someone that people can see you. Oh, this is the judge. So this is how judge play. Uh, yeah. So that is so you know, it doesn't make your life easier, but it is also fun in its own way. Trust me. Yeah, and of course, the second time that you need to prepare is time. You need time to learn. Like the chat says, you need to read CR, IPG, MTR, modules, advanced competitive modules, and their modules in Judge Academy is a lot. Like myself, I need literally 1 month to finish it, and not in that 1 month. Like I in 1 month I finish some half of it, and then I take a break. In the next 2-3 months, then I continue that. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of article in the Just Academy when you want to become an L2. And of course, you will need time to digest all the information dump there to actually learn the things, what they meant, what they want to deliver. And what I want to say that Just Academy really have a great way to deliver the knowledge to you. So for you L1, if you doesn't for now, if you think I don't think I need to change for L2 for now. Uh, what I said that maybe you don't you maybe you think that you shouldn't maybe you shouldn't change for L2 for now, but uh, for me you can still read the L2 module. It really help you in your future, especially when you are judging in the local area, becoming a floor judge or becoming a head judge. It really will help you in the future. Okay, the next way is the academy way. How to get there after a Just Academy rebirth. Just Academy birth is not rebirth. Okay, I will explain it. First, the requirement for level 2 is this four. First, hold an active L1 certification. 2, you must complete all L2 required coursework and modules. 3, you must have recommendation review from judging together at Wizard Sanction in-person competitive route event, written by L2 or L3 judges in the previous 12 months. And last but not least, now to exam. I will explain it one by one. First, hold an active L1 certification. I believe everyone in here has an active L1 certification, or even better, L2 or L3 certification. Where what Just Academy meant is that you have active account in your Just Academy, and not just a role advisor also. So first one, of course, you have to become an L1 first to become an L2. To level up, you have to be at one level first before you can reach the other level. The next one is you must complete all L2 required coursework. Here's the example of the coursework. There is a lot. If you read it, it's so small. It has a lot of coursework that you need to finish. This is if you can see, this is just an example. Like one advanced CR 100, 200, 300 until 800, and then the competitive rail. So the competitive rail is mainly contain the how to fix error, and then the event management, like how to work with other people, how to work with other judges, handling deck list, deck check. It literally just more about technique stuff. As you can see at the bottom of that, there is tabs for your skill list, like advanced CR, competitive rail, L2 event management, L2 final exam, L2 elective, and set update quiz. You can check that at that academy, of course. It at the L2 module, and if you have an L1 active certification, you can access that. And of course, you have to finish one by one. You have to finish like first game concept 1 to start the game concept 2, and you have to finish the game concept 2 to start the part of the craft. So you learn it step by step, one by one, from beginning to the end. Yeah, like Patrick said, don't take this quiz from mobile phone, especially when you have a lot of call. Every single every single module in Just Academy will have a quiz before you pass the coursework. And if you fail the quiz, it will take a 24-hour school down for the retake. So if you really need to finish it, just when you have a time, when you can open your PC or your laptops, then I suggest you don't use your mobile phone, because when you suddenly miss clicking, when you suddenly miss press, or you suddenly refresh it, the quiz will think that you failed, and you have to wait for 24 hours to retake. It is for the normal quiz in each section. And one about the final exam, if I remember correctly, it will take a 1 month cool down. So if you are taking like today at 10 August and you fail, you have to take it at around 11 September. So when you take the final exam, please do take your time. Please do have a good internet connection and else. Okay, next one is this. You must have a recommendation review from Judging Together at Blizzard Sanction, in-person competitive rail, written by an L2 or L2 in the previous month. You will notice that while a specific number of events is not mandatory, like you can judge in a 12 event with a level 2 or level 3, or just one event in the sanction competitive rail event, it doesn't matter. But you will need at least to work with one competitive event with L2 or L3 judges in order to get your review. This is the one most asked about the requirement for L2. We have a long discussion about the role of L2 and whether or not someone, the L2 and L3 will see whether you will experience your judge call when you take a judge call or something, whether it is are you ready to become an L2? Are you certified to become an L2? The L2 and L3 will become your mentor in that. He or she will see that are you ready to take next level to become a judges. especially now that why it is has to be in the previous 12 months, because Magic changed every expansion, right? Yeah, like you have a new ruling in every new expansion, you have a new keyword in the new expansion. So for you to have the 12 months in that, you are now uh in an up to date judges. Let's say that if this 12 month is doesn't exist, let's say that you are judging with the L3 at 3 years ago, and then suddenly you want to become an L2, uh, but you doesn't really judging anything due to COVID, especially when you're yeah, in 2020 and to 2022 in the beginning, you doesn't even judging in the competitive round, and then you suddenly become an L2. uh you when player asks you about the up to date event, then you will like, huh, I don't even know that, I don't even learn that. Yeah, so there is this previous to 12 month comes, so you are expected to be up to date about what Magic is now, what ruling is now in the Magic role now. And then last is passing the L2 exam. Okay, don't worry about passing the L2 exam. If I remember correctly, you have around 40 questions. This will be open book, of course, but it will be time pass. So before you take take your prepare your mental, prepare your time to uh, when you want to take this L2 exam. It's not that hard, but uh, all the question here is quite tricky. Ace here asking me, uh, Ace here is asking me about minimum count of participation for aspiring L2. There is no there is one minimum of participation in Comrel event for aspiring L2. I mean, you are participating as a judge, not as a player. If as a player, then I don't think there is a minimum count of participating in a player. But as a judge, you are expected to be judging in one. Uh, yeah, it's you have to be floor. You have to be at one competitive event as a floor judge, or as a floor judge, especially when you as a floor judge, and you have to have that L2 or L3 as your head judge, so uh, they can become your mentor, they can become uh, your sorry, let me get back first. They can become someone that give you a recommendation to your becoming an L2. Okay, let's back to the pass the L2 exam. You have this will be open book, of course, and time event that time. There will be no paper testing. Everything is done by Just Academy. It will be online, and like that Patrick said earlier, uh, don't don't answer it at your mobile phone. Just take this at your leisure time when you are ready. Okay, I want to do a little sharing. How is my journey to become an L2? When first I become an L1, I really wanted to become an L2. Like I said earlier, I want to become a mentor to my friends, to other people that want to become a judge in the future. So my first journey may be that I should take the L2 course. At 2020, there is if some of the people here remember, there should be a judge conference in Singapore that has the pioneer event at the next day. I apply for the judges for being a judge there to have a recommendation for my L2. And then one day before I purchased the ticket, the the Singapore got locked down. Yeah, fortunately that I haven't purchased the ticket yet, but it so that my 2 years waiting for ML2 is just stagnant. So when after 2 years, I learned more about L2. I yeah, that March 2020. I learned more about becoming an L2. I read every single module in the Jets Academy. I try to discuss it with my friend about the L2, how to become an L2, what is the requirement, I asked them about how is their experience when they become an L2. The next one is what I want to share is my first competitive round as an L2 judge. Did you, if you are in the track 2 from last presentation, Lom said that if you saw the players body language is weird when they are making a mistake, right? At my first competitive L2 judge, I disqualified 2%. Why? Because at the round 4, I see that they are trying to bribe the one that can be at the top 8 bribe the others. That said that I don't know if it is bribing or the opponents trying to I will let you go to the top 8, but give me some when you are a champion. And yeah, I do a lot of investigation. I do a lot of talking with other people, other L2 friends, and yeah, it's when I first when I asked them in the events, the player seems like uh, 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 yeah, I won, but now we go to game 3. He's quite unsure about the answer. I just asked that if you did you win the game 1, but the body language said that he did lose. What I saw that he did lose, but yeah, there are weird body language that happened in that time. So, but at my first competitive role as a judge, I already disqualified 2%. Yeah, it's a good experience for myself, and for me, it's becoming an L2 is really fun in its own way. And then the next sharing that I want to say that did you have a problem? Of course, the problem will come when you become unsure about the ruling. Let's say that for myself, like I begin playing in the to 2016, right? 2016. And if there's a card from before that you may be quite unsure what is this card doing, what is this card interaction with other cards, how is this combo works. But yeah, that's the point that you can learn. You can ask your more experienced player maybe, or more experienced judge, how that card works, and it will become a good way to you for to learning. The next is the tips and trick. For me, the tips and trick, for me, the tips is please read that Jazz Academy. If you are really have time for that, please do watch the video as well, and also always refer back to that, because as far as I know, the Jazz Academy will always up to date it to nowadays. We have a blog that's right, so it's sometimes it's quite outdated. So usually I will refer back to the Jazz Academy course. Next one is I wanna ask is this. The last, but now this is reaching the end of the presentation. Okay, if you are an L1 and you are aspiring to become an L2, what is stopping you? Can an L1 that have a problem with becoming an L2 answer in the chat? I will check. Yeah, well, waiting for maybe someone that wanna share what's stopping them from becoming an L2. Yeah, I will tell you that becoming an L2 is not easy, right? But becoming an L2 is worth it for me. It's especially if you are love this game, becoming an L2 give you so much better view of this game. Okay, some people is answering already. Yeah, adulting time as well as more confidence in my skill set, time and money, time especially adulting studies. Yep. Yep. Uh, yeah. And of course, becoming now too. That what you have to committed is your time. Yeah. For me, I work. Sometimes I work in the week weekend also. And sometimes, of course, the event most likely happen in the weekends, right, when there is a lot of players. Uh, but for me, for your time, yeah. Uh, okay. Uh, yeah, you have. I think time is really things that you should prepare. The For me, you should spend some time to maybe just one module a day, and before you know it, you will reach the end of the module. Believe me, if you are not rushing into to L2, that one module at a time is a very good time. If we are talking about module, right? Uh, and if you are talking about adulting, yeah, maybe you have to become more adult. You have to uh, become more responsible about other players, especially. Uh, but yeah, it will take some time, of course. But you will eventually get there. You will eventually become more adult by the time you reach the L2. The insight that the confidence is my skill set. Yeah, some other peoples in my local area said that I am not confident to judging this event. How about this? How if I give a wrong ruling? Well, I can say that yeah, please just have more confidence. Just do it. Just dive into it. We are people, and I am here to help you. You may be make a mistake, but let's correct that mistake together. By the time you will have more confidence in your skill set. Uh, yeah, responsibility with the in real life stuff just something that happen as well. But yeah, for me, don't take it too seriously as well. This is the game you play as a hobby, and don't make the L2 is like your responsibility to, oh, I am an L2 something something, so I have to remove my responsibility. No, no, no. You have to become wise. You know that your real life is more important. Uh, Brighton said that you just made it into L1 and doesn't feel that becoming an L2 is bit rushing to your L2 is a bit rush. Yeah, Brighton, I will say that just enjoy your L1 for 1 and 2 years while still learning to become an L2. Because when you become an L1, it's also fun in its own way, you know. Uh, yeah, if you fail, you can also retake it in the next day. But for the final exam, it's not 2 weeks, it's 1 month, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Brighton, just take your time. Just have other people take the L2 role first. Take you become an L1 that when you need more experience, when you need more confidence, just stay in L1. But when you have a better experience, you have a better confidence, and you will in your heart you want to become. I want to become an L2. Chase for it. It's very good in its own way. And yep, of course, like Sugan said, search for mentor, search for someone that can help you in the L2 way. Especially in L2, if you have an L2 and an L3, talk to them, spend time with them, and they will share their experience. I swear they will share their experience because becoming an L2 and an L3 is fun in its own way. Okay, if there is no more, the last thing is the question and answer. Oops. Oh, error. Yep. Ouch. I think I am 40 minutes. So I have around 9 or 10 minutes to to answer some question. If there's other question for me, you can type it in the chat, please. Waiting. I think that's the all of my presentation. Do you know what the passing percentage? It's 80%. In every single one, you need to 80% to pass. Like if you have 10 questions, then you need 8 questions to write, so you can get the pass percentage. In the final exam is you take the 80% as well. It has 40 questions, so you have to around 36, 37 question, right? To get the passing percentage. David said that, do you think an every L1 should work toward L2? For me, yes, every L1 should work toward L2 at least for this part. Learn more about the comprehensive rule. Learn more about judging in the competitive event and event management. You don't have to level up to level 2, but for me, every L1 should take their time to try and learn this every single module here in Just Academy, because it is so good that you will be learning more and more than you learn in the when you become an L1. Is there any other question? Tommy said that, how do you look for another L1 as L2? I mean, did you mean that which L1 is like which L1 that it's L1 that you recommended to become L2? Did you mean that? From a player to become a new judge, what I saw there first, there's some people in my area that asked me how to become a judge. I asked them that, like, why do you want to become a judge? They said, well, I want to judge promo. Of course, it is not a wrong answer, but for me, first and foremost, that I will see that if that person really care about their community. For me, will they become an L2 and an L1 especially will become a good example for other players. If it's not, if it's, let's say that this player is so toxic and then he just want to become an L1 to get a judge promo, I will not recommend such player for me. But maybe every other L2 will have a different answer. Okay. Michael asked, did it happen to you when you encourage an L1 to become L2? Then once they become L2, what advice can you give them given now you are about L2? yeah, I encourage some of my L1 judges to become an L2, where they haven't become an L2 yet. But when they become an L2, what I can say that you are now an L2. When you become a player, please play as a judge. You are a player, sure, but please be considerate that you are also a judge. Please, yeah, I mean, become more responsible about what you do, especially at the playing stage. Maybe that's the first and foremost advice I will give them when we are about L2. And maybe when we are about L2, I will give them some chance to run a competitive route. Yes, Ace L2 got their own merchandise package, but I don't think it's delivered yet. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all. If there's other question, you can email me at that email. Oh yeah, L11 is still have doesn't still have uh for the other L2, uh, is there anyone that wanna share their own experience so our aspiring L1 can become more inspired? I will ask Neo to unmute if there is others L2 that wanna share the experience from their side. Let me check this first. Okay. I don't think any other L2 wanna share their experience. So yeah, uh, don't be hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to ask other L2 or L3 friends in your area about more how to become a judge, how to become a better judge. Uh, it will take some time, but believe me, it's worth it. I guess that's all for my presentation. If there's other question, please do ask me at my email. I will reach you as soon as possible. Yeah, thank you too, guys, for listening to my burger.